Değerli arkadaşlar, bir oturabilirseniz, sadece yeni oturum değil, kapanış konuşmaları yapılacak etkinliğimizin. Antalya bölgesinden katılan arkadaşlar için de bir mesajım var Türkiye Bilişim Derneği Başkanı olarak. Dinlerlerse sevinirim. Mehmet. Değerli bilişimciler, ITU Uluslararası Telekomünikasyon Otoritesi'nin değerli Genel Sekreteri, Sayın Acarer, Bilgi Teknoloji ve İletişim Kurum Başkanım, değerli hocalarım, Sayın Milletvekilim, tekrar bir aradayız. Bu artık kapanış konuşması oluyor. Aslında bizim bilgi işlem yönetici seminerinde kapanış konuşması yapma gibi bir alışkanlığımız yok. Kapandı derdik, biterdi. Bu sefer ilk defa bir kapanış yapma nedenimiz oldu. O da Sayın Ture teşrif ettiler. Tayfun Bey ile birlikte davetimizi kırmayarak kendileri İstanbul programlarını bitirip buraya geldiler. Kendileri konuğumuzdur. Bu kürsüyü kendisine kapanış konuşması için bırakmadan önce bugün burada olan, bizim davetimiz olarak gelen Antalya şubemizin davetlisi olarak gelen bilişimcilere de özellikle birkaç söz söylemek istiyorum. Bizim Antalya örgütlenmemiz Türkiye Bilişim Derneği'nin 41. yılında gecikmiş bir örgütlenmedir. Biz bunu geç de olsa başlattık. Sorunları dinlemeye çalışıyoruz, öğrenmeye çalışıyoruz. Sanıyorum Antalya şubemiz bu konuda çok kısa zamanda organize olacaktır. Ve burada bir dinamik bir gücün olduğu, turizm potansiyelinin çok yoğun olduğu bu çevrede, binlerce otelin olduğu her merkezde bir tane de bilgi işlem merkezi olduğunu düşünürseniz, böyle bir yoğun bir potansiyelin olduğu açık. Bunu bizim bu alana yönelik çalışma yapmamız gerektiği de açık. Burada sorunlar çok açık olarak dile getirildi ve tartışıldı. Sanıyorum gelecek dönemlerde de, ki bizim etkinliklerimizin en fazla yaptığımız yer Antalya'dır. Aslında ev sahibimiz de hep Antalya şubemizdir. Antalya şubemiz ilk defa bir etkinlik yaptı bizim etkinliğimiz içerisinde. Bu bizim için sevindirici bir durum. Bunu özellikle belirtmek istiyorum. Bundan sonraki çalışmalarımızda da Antalya şubesinin daha yoğun olacağını düşünüyorum ki şu andaki yeni şube yapılanmamız içerisinde de bunun çok daha olduğunu düşünüyorum. Efendim, 2 günün sonuna geldik. Akşamleyin bir konserimiz var son bu kapanıştan sonra. Oraya hepinizi bekliyoruz yemekten sonra. Alpay, bildiğimiz eski sanatçı, bizi sanıyorum hoş vakit geçirecek ve böylece 2 günlük sempozyumumuzu tamamlamış olacağız. Sanıyorum gelenler mutlu olmuşlardır. Bir kusurumuz varsa bize bildirirlerse aynı hataları bir daha yapmamaya çalışırız. Eğer en ufak bir eksikliğimiz varsa bunu eleştiri olarak bize iletmeniz, bize bildirmeniz yeterlidir. Biz bunlardan ders çıkartmaya çalışıyoruz. Bir daha olmamasını çalışmaya çalışıyoruz. Onun için lütfen bu eleştirinizi iletirken hiçbir zaman çekinmeyin. Bu bizim için çok önemli. Bu son konuşma için de Sayın Türe'ye bu sahneye davet ediyorum. Mr. Ture, floor is yours.
Thank you very much, and good afternoon to you all. It's such a pleasure for me to attend this seminar, especially in a city like Antalya, which brings to me a lot of very fond memories. I was here first time in 2002, 10 years ago when I was having my 25th anniversary of wedding with my wife, and my children came here. It was a very good occasion, and we are here back together just 10 years after, exactly 10 years. Today is 10 years after we came back, we came first time here. And this was the place where I was elected in 2006. As you all remember, the Plenipotentiary Conference of ITU took place here in Antalya. And therefore, it is really a great pleasure and an honor for me. Yesterday, I was attending a conference in Istanbul, similar to this one, with His Excellency Minister and Mr. Dr. Ajar as well, the regulatory authority, and also the Internet Council of Turkey. I found it very, very enlightening, especially given the very important role that Turkey is playing in my organization, the ITU, the International Telecommunication Union. As you know, ITU is the oldest organization of the United Nations. We are celebrating this year 148 years of our existence. The organization was created back in 1865, and Turkey was one of the founding members of the Union. At the time, it was created by just 20 countries. Today, we have 193 member states. All members of the United Nations are members of the Union. And in addition, we have over 750 private companies that makes it a unique organization in the UN system, with so many private companies playing a key role in the Union at the same level as governments. The only difference between governments and private sector in ITU is when it comes to voting. We never vote on issues. We try to have consensus. Last month, we had the World Radio Conference, WRC 2012, that lasted 4 weeks in Geneva, with a full consensus on all of the issues, without any political fight. This makes the Union really unique, and we believe that we can continue to play that key role of unifier. We are dealing with information and communication technology, and we all know today that is driving the social and economic life of any country. The world has reached, at the end of December last year, 6.2 billion users of mobile telephone, 2.4 billion users of internet. Over 1 billion people are using broadband. We know broadband is driving the world today, and especially mobile broadband is the future as we are entering the Internet of Things. We hope that by 2015, which is a goal set by the Millennium Development Goals, all the citizens of this planet will be reachable on a mobile phone, at least 7 billion people. But by 2020, there will be, according to some industry estimates, there will be over 50 billion devices connected, that we're entering the Internet of Things, where devices will be talking to each other. And it is our job in ITU to ensure that there is adequate spectrum for that to happen, that there is adequate standardization so that devices manufactured in various countries can work and talk to each other in other countries. That's the challenges that we are facing, so that we bring down the cost. Because we're trying to advocate the right to communicate, access to internet, the right to communicate as a basic human need. And every citizen of this planet needs to come to that. And this was defined in the preamble of the World Summit on Information Society report, the Tunis Agenda in 2005. Every citizen of this planet needs to access information. But accessing is not enough. We need to use it. And third, every citizen of this planet should be able to create information that will make us part of this knowledge society that we are living in today. And last but not least, every citizen of this planet needs to be able to share information. This is where we're going to say the world has reached the maturity level that we are expecting. And today, the job that you are doing here, I know there are many CIOs here in this room. How do we ensure that infrastructure is available? But infrastructure alone is nothing. We need to create content so that the knowledge-based economy can really start being shared and we take all the benefits of it. And this is why it's very important to define the roles of government, regulatory authority, and the private sector. The role of those three players are complementary. One is to make the laws. Ministry will make the laws, go and defend them at Parliament. The regulatory authority is the referee among the players. He has to make sure it's fair and transparent. And it's stimulating the game so that the private sector, like yourselves, can play that role and take the benefits of it. Yesterday I was mentioning one very important element we see here from our side in the International Telecommunication Union, observing the Turkish market and Turkish industry. I would say there is a positive complicity between government and the players, between government and the regulatory authority, between the regulatory authority and the players, and that's very important. This is why this industry is creating new jobs here in Turkey, and it's creating new opportunities. And by working together, you'll be able to even do more of that. Because this industry is driven by human brain. It's innovation, and the youngsters are the ones who are the most using it, and they have to have the benefits of it. We have to create opportunities for them for jobs. And we see in Turkey here a very young population, but also well educated. You have some of the best universities in Europe or Asia, depending from where you're looking at it. And if the youngsters are well trained in the fields of ICT, they can take the country at the highest level. This is one industry, since human brain is the power driving this, it's equally distributed. So only difference between people will be education and capacity building. And I applaud the efforts made by government here. And those efforts should be tuned toward job creation. So specific areas where government feel that there is a need to fill the gap. Once you have those three elements, the government, private sector, and the regulatory authority, putting broadband, a national broadband plan together in motion that will have impact on the economy, that will also help create new opportunities so citizens can exercise all their rights. This is why actually 2 years ago I created with the Director General of UNESCO the Broadband Commission for Digital Development, so that every government in the world has a national broadband plan. And we are working on it. I'm on my way from here, going to Macedonia tomorrow for a meeting of the Broadband Commission. We actually have set some specific targets so that we'll be able to stimulate within the United Nations system to try and be a catalyst for development. Because we know, and we are linking this to the Millennium Development Goals, we know that no country will be able to meet the Millennium Development Goals in health without e-health, in education without e-education, or government without e-government. So the important role that broadband will bring in our lives is really key, and we are only 3 years from the Millennium Development Goals 2015, and therefore we really need to use the ICT, which is the only of the 8 goals of the MDGs. The goal number 8, that is the last one, which is dealing with ICTs, is one likely to be met ahead of time, and therefore why not use it as a tool to help accelerate our progress for other sectors. I would like also to mention to you some very key components of this cyber world. IPv6, transition to IPv6 is a very important element that was discussed heavily yesterday, and ITU is working hard with all the players to ensure that we help toward the transition of IPv6, and especially knowing that we're talking about Internet of Things. Each of those objects needs to have their IP addresses, and therefore it's a very important element, but it can only be done with a very strong collaboration with all the members, and including the private sector here. Another very important element that we are working on in ITU is cybersecurity. Internet is important, is an important tool only if it's affordable, but it's only if it's safe. Some people tend to always put safety and privacy against one another, safety and freedom against one another. You cannot have freedom without safety. You cannot have privacy without safety. And therefore, they come together hand in hand. When we are putting security together, when you are debating security issues, you are assuming you want to make it private as well. But we have to be sure that the privacy of the criminals in the cyberspace is not taking over the privacy of the consumers. But it becomes a very political issue, unfortunately, sometimes, and ideological. In some countries, freedom fighters are other countries' terrorists, unfortunately. So in the cyberspace, in talking about security, we're facing the same type of sensitive issues. Because the issue is sensitive, we should not stop talking about it and doing something about it. And security in the cyberspace especially is not one country's problem. We're in a global network, and we are as strong as our weakest link. All countries need to work together. One, to have a good legal and regulatory framework in that area. Two, to have a national coordination, because security is not an issue of a Ministry of Transport and Communication only. It's an issue for Ministry of Defense, Interior, or Ministry of Education and Health, because they are using it as well. And you wouldn't want each of them to be dealing with it in a silo and having unnecessary duplicating of efforts. The third very important element is technical readiness in cybersecurity. That's why we are encouraging the creation of cyber emergency response teams, the CERTs and CIRTs, everywhere possible. The fourth very important element of cybersecurity is capacity building. This is a common element for any issue that you're putting in place. Any program you're putting in place will come with capacity building component. You need to train the law enforcement agents not only on legal and regulatory frameworks, but also on technical, but more importantly, on the ethical side of security, and especially when you're dealing with cybersecurity. The fifth very important element is a global cooperation, a global framework for cooperation among all member states. If they are not all on the same level of readiness, the criminal can act from one country that is completely remote, that is outside of it. Some of the key problems we're facing is like in Europe. Europeans have a very good framework, the Council of Europe. Now, not only all countries have ratified it, but I hope this will come along. But what if the criminal is coming out of the European country, which happens in any case? So we need to make a global framework that's workable for everyone. And I applaud the European Commission for the Council of Europe for putting together a good framework that has some very good principles that can be used in a global framework. And we're trying to work with them so that we don't have to reinvent the wheel or create something that has been already created, or make mistakes that have been made already for lack of information in this information world. There are some other regional agreements, the London-Seoul agreement, the Melbourne agreement. Those are all regional frameworks that we need to look at them and see what are the best principles that are in there that we could put in a global framework. I hope that one day we'll come to reach something on that. But the issue is so sensitive that we are getting, when I'm following the debates on this issue, it becomes constant monologues. People are not listening to each other. That's why, as you know, the World Summit on Information Society in Tunis has assigned ITU to deal with cybersecurity. So in dealing with it, I'm facing tremendous difficulties linked to ideological or ethical fights among our member states, unnecessarily. While in reality, they're talking about the same thing. The only way I could bring them together around the same table was when I put the initiative called COP, Child Online Protection. Protecting children is an urgency for everyone. Children are our highest common denominator. It's urgent for everyone. They are the highest users of the net. They are vulnerable, likely to give 3 out of 5 children are likely to give information to people they have never met out there in the cyberspace. Information about themselves or their families in a very naive manner. We need to protect them. They are the future. And we see many types of crimes targeting children today that can be prevented if we work together. So we need to put together a global framework of cooperation so that this space will be a very safe one. On an annual basis, we in ITU organize in Geneva a seminar with, for instance, the car industry. When we are talking about the Internet of Things, the car of the future will have so many features designed in it that will make the car cars talking to each other, managing traffic. When an accident happens, the moment the airbag goes off, the driver may be alone and could have lost consciousness. The car can send a message to ambulance, police, and firefighters. The car can give the location geographic location of the accident. And the car can send a message in the vicinity of the accident area telling to other drivers that they are entering an accident zone. Our washing machines or fridges at home will be able to talk to order the new supplies when it's short, or where they are getting out of order, sending messages to the dealer for repair. This is the world that we are going to live in, which will require a lot of work from you and will require a lot of coordination among all stakeholders. I think with that we can make the world a better place. I am very, very proud of the contribution that Turkey is providing to the ITU. As I said, Turkey is a founding member of the Union, very active also. Turkey is the only country that have organized 3 of our major events. I talked about the Plenipotentiary Conference here in 2006, but before that, in 2002, we had the World Development Conference in Istanbul, and in 2000, we have the World Radio Conference in Istanbul again. It's a very active member of the Council, and Turkey will be chairing the Council this year for the first time in a very long time. So we are very proud of the contribution that Turkey is bringing, not only at the Council level and the Plenipotentiary Conference, but also in all our 3 sectors. The development sector, where Turkey is bringing its experience, it's also very much active in helping the other regulatory authorities, because Turkey has a very long tradition of regulation here, and there are things that worked. You could not have the growth that you had here, more than 10 to 15% growth annually for 5 years in a row, just by chance. You must have done something right. And it could only be done in the regulatory side, because regulation will drive the market. Not heavy-handed regulation, light touch regulation, but the regulator needs to be respected on the field. It's like a referee. When you go look at the football game, the role of a referee is important, but we're not coming to the game to see the referee. We wish he's not there, but his presence will make the game fair and fun. If he's fair, if he has one of his children playing for one of the teams, no conflict of interest. And if he's letting all the players know the rules at all time and consulted them in the process of changing those rules, and especially not changing the rules during the game. So Turkish Regulatory Authority has been very active in what we call the Global Symposium of Regulators worldwide that we held annually, where all the head of the regulatory authorities worldwide come together. Last time was in Colombia, last year in September. And this year we're going to have it again in September or October timeframe, will be in Colombo, in Sri Lanka. I hope that the contributions of Turkey in the standardization world and also in the radio communication will involve many of you here also, because government come with private sector in those meetings. It's very important. We can only make new standards with private sector evolving. And that makes ITU unique. Here is the only organization, the oldest organization of the UN, and the only one where even competing companies come with their research and development work, so that we come to a global standard that is applied everywhere. So I hope this is an invitation to all of you to join ITU as sector members, or come with your government in working in our various forums. We're there to work for you, so that the industry can have a level playing field, so that it can have the right rules and regulations, and it can have the right spectrum, so that it could give the services that the customers need. When governments give you those rules, those opportunities, government should come back with some e-government services like e-health, e-education, that will help trigger the demand for you, and you can accelerate and give more services to the society at large. So our role is complementary here. I'm really very pleased to see all of you, and I'm Professor Dr. Usman, one of the members of parliament, former member of parliament, is here, and I'm very pleased that the lawmakers, the ministry, and the regulators and the players are all working together hand in hand. It's no surprise why Turkey is successful in this arena. It can only be successful with, as I repeat again, with a positive complicity among all of the players. And you can measure a country's maturity based on that. Countries where they will not succeed, when you see the minister, he will tell you, don't go and see the regulator. Or regulator will tell, oh, our members of parliament are the worst people, they don't understand the business. Or the member of parliament will criticize government, whether they are in the opposition or not, they will still criticize one another. That's unfortunate. And we don't see this here happening in Turkey. And to me, this is the greatest asset you have. Please keep it. Again, I would like to thank you for giving me the opportunity to address you here. It is a real pleasure for me to be here, and I thank you very much for your kind attention. Thank you.
Efendim, Tayfun Bey'i hepimiz tanıyoruz. Ben Tayfun Bey'in bu kadar sona kalmasını hiçbir zaman arzulamadım hayatım boyunca. Onun için bir herhalde merhabası olacaktır. Onu bir söylerseniz
Vallahi bu Bakan Bey'in hep anlattığı hikayeye döndü. En son konuşmacı. Ama ben Sayın Milletvekilim, sektörümüzün değerli temsilcileri, hepinizi saygıyla selamlıyorum. Sayın Genel Sekreterin vermiş olduğu bilgiler gerçekten çok önemliydi. Özellikle cyber security konusu çok önemsediği bir konu. Yeni alan hatları konusu, e-government konusu. Tabii Sayın Genel Sekreter için Antalya'nın ayrı bir önemi de var. Burada Genel Sekreterliğe seçildiği yerdi PP06'da 2006 yılında. Onun için de ayrı bir nostalji oluyor. Ben fazla uzatmak istemiyorum. Hepinize hayırlı akşamlar diliyorum. Saygılar sunuyorum.
Efendim, bir bilgi işlem yöneticisi seminerini daha sonlandırdık. Katılımınız için hepinize teşekkür ediyoruz.